Hello again everyone, and welcome to the Back Garden Yard channel. In today's video I'm going to show you all about trellises. This is the fast, easy, economical garden trellis, and it's made out of just common fence wire. So what I'm showing you is how we installed a 14-foot trellis, but you can do this with any amount of trellis and fence post. So what's really cool about this fence trellis is the fact that it's very portable. I've used these same ones for about 10 years. I take them up every year so I can work the ground without them, and then I reinstall them because they're really easy. Now I'm showing you now there's a 7-foot fence post, and we're using 5-foot welded wire fence. Now why am I not using a bigger fence? That's what I'm going to show you in just a little bit on this video. But right now I'm going to go ahead and show you that this is a 5-foot fence. So I'm got my line out and we're measuring it. And here you go. It is 5 feet. So we've got a 7-foot fence post and 5-foot wire fence. And now I'm showing you the prices. The price of the fence is $90, and the price for the post is $11 a piece. You're going to need 9 to put up 50-foot worth of fence. So if you buy a 50-foot roll, you'll need 9 posts, 1 on each end and 1 in the middle of each section, and you would have a section that's 17 foot, 17 foot, and 16 foot. Those of you who have never worked with welded wire fence and U-post, I'm going to give you an up close on how we do this. So the first thing I want to show you is that if you see these little hooks on the post, they match up every 3 or 4 sections with the fence wire, and you can just slide them down in there and they'll hold really nice. And that's the way you can actually hook them up. But then you want to make sure that you're actually closing them up so they don't slip back out during the growing season, and also while we're hammering up the fence. So what I do, let's see if I can show this. So what I do is I take a pair of pliers, and then I just get right here, and then I close it up just by squeezing it tight. There. And now this is not coming out, and so I've got it all closed up. And that's what you do. That's what I'm doing down on the ground here with each post, is I'm making sure that they're nice and sturdy. So now you can see that the post is driven down about 1 foot into the ground, but I didn't go all the way in with it because I want to leave this gap here. And this gap is so that you can actually get the weeds really easy from either side around these plants. And so if you'll see, there's my 1 foot gap, and that's why I put 5 feet of fence on a 7-foot post. Therefore, you put the post down 1 foot, and then you've got a foot left, so that your plants are just 1 foot below the trellis. Now, when they get up a foot high right here, then of course they're going to start sending out shoots and runners, and it'll be real easy to tie them to this fence because I planted them right below the fence. But all these little weeds right here are going to be super easy to control, whereas if you had it all the way down, that would get involved with the trellis, as I'm going to show you later in this video what happens if you have the trellis all the way down to the ground. So I've got a nice crop of weeds started here, but all I got to do is just kind of scrape them off and they're gone. Weeds are gone. So now I can get completely under the fence trellis, and there will be no problem controlling these weeds. And I'll run the rototiller out here, and that way when I run the rototiller out there, it'll be just fine to control the weeds, and the ones that are actually can't get close enough with the rototiller, I'll just get with my hoe. It'll take just about a minute for this whole row. So that's the whole idea behind a 7-foot pole and a 5-foot trellis. So now we're going to flip back to where we were installing the fence post, and I do apologize for the fact you can hardly see the wire on the ground there. So what I'm doing is I'm laying them under the wire, and then I'm attaching them the way I just showed you by using my pliers. That way then when I hammer them in, they won't be slipping out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little small post up, so therefore it'll hold that third one up when me and my wife are putting up the regular post. So I'm just going to hammer in a short one that I'll take back out once I actually hammer that one down. But I need that just to support it. So here we are. We're going to put the 3 posts up. Now what you want to do is you want to put the middle one in first and then pull it tight on each side. So that's what I'll do when you put it together. Now a lot of people like to go ahead and take their fence and put the post in and then put the fence on it. I find it's a little easier to go ahead and attach the post and then drive the middle one in and then pull them tight. But there's many ways to install a fence. I know all about the come-alongs and everything else, but we're just using this for a temporary fence because at the end of the season I will take it back up. So I've got that one laying there. Now I'm going to take the middle one, and this is the first one I'm going to install. Coming to get the ladder. So I've got the ladder now. I'm going to come around and I'm just going to drive that middle one in. You can see this is where I'm putting tomatoes. I've already made a raised bed there to drop the tomato plants into. And there we go. We're going up. We're going to hammer a little bit. And of course I'm not going to show you all this hammering, but anyway, so we're driving in the first one. And now we're going to drive in the second one, pulling it tight from the first one. And then I decided I need a bigger hammer. So I went and got the bigger hammer and I hit it again. This time it's going down. But I only want it down 1 foot. I want to leave that 1 foot spacing between the fence and the ground. And now I'm hammering in the very last post, same way. Okay. And that's really all there is to it. As you see, you just attach the fence, hammer in 3 posts, and you've got a 14-foot trellis installed. I mean, how easy can that be? Now I'm back over here to my last year's trellis that went all the way to the ground. As you can see, I am choked out with weeds. So what I did was I trimmed the trellis, and I'm going to take the bottom out and make it look like what we just installed, because there's no way I can use this trellis as a trellis with it looking like it did. So I have gone ahead now. I'm going to actually just literally cut under the trellis with my lawnmower, get that down where I can actually see the ground. And after I do that with the lawnmower, I'm going to come back with the hoe and I'm just going to literally peel all these weeds out of there. And so that way then I'll be able to keep weeding with the hoe or with a weed tool, and I will be able to keep the weeds under control because I want to use this fence for my cucumbers. And that's what I'm doing right here. So now I'm back and I'm over here where this was just totally overgrown with these weeds, and now you can see there are no weeds. I ran my rototiller down the outside also and killed a whole bunch of those weeds, and I can still see there's a few in the middle. But anyway, now I have planted some cucumbers here, and they're going to just grow up, attach themselves to the trellis, and go right on about bearing. And I can do that now. And then here's my sweet potatoes, and with this trellis this close, I can go ahead and let the cucumbers run, and I'll make very wise use of my space. So here's the sweet potatoes, and here's the cucumbers, here's the trellis. And as you see now, when I want to weed it, all I've got to do is just come through and hit the weeds with my hoe or my weed tool, and there are no more weeds. So this is the idea behind a trellis that doesn't go all the way to the ground, because you saw what a mess this was before, and now it can be just totally cleared in a couple of minutes. Okay, if you enjoy content like this, please like and subscribe, and we will be back on the next video.